All right, Cameron. It's very nice meeting you. It's very nice meeting everyone, actually. This is what I look like without a mask. Let's make sure that we're both in tune. G, C, E, A, G, C, E, A. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 2 lessons, and we're going to be correlating it with your song for your recital. This week's song was Bamboo. The chords we're going to be working on as part of our lesson 2, and then the strategic way that we're going to be moving through those chords will be correlating to building muscle memory with our fingers on both hands, starting like this. So lesson 1, once we're in tune, G, C, E, A, is taking our first finger and putting it on the first fret on the string that's closest to you, closest to the nose, and it's the high G. When we put our finger on it, it makes a sharp note, so it's not just a G anymore. G, G sharp. It's a G sharp or an A flat, because the next note's an A. So it could go down and go A flat, or up from G and go to G sharp. But we've got a G sharp, A sharp, B. We can keep going through this. So what I'd like you to do is do plucks over here, which means you're going to act like you're holding an invisible ball inside of your hand. Not too big like a tennis ball, but not too small like a marble. Nice in the middle like a golf ball or a ping pong ball. And you're going to have your 1, 2, 3, 4. When you play these, you're going to keep each finger on the subsequent note that you just played until you get to the 4th fret. And then you're going to take your fingering and move directly from this G sharp up to a C sharp while keeping this finger here and then slowly moving it off when you're coming up. The whole process should look like do 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 do. It's kind of like layering your fingers so they all go, yeah? And remember, you don't have to go super fast. You could go slow. The point of this is to make sure each note is audible. That each note comes out and it's not like not muted, not making a mute ghost note, that it actually is coming out. If you want, you could play towards the back or in the middle over the sound hole, or up here on the fretboard. I prefer playing about right here on the fretboard because I have more contact space, more surface area space than right here, believe it or not. I think it's an optical illusion considering the strings are still there. The only thing I see though when I play here is that sound hole. You play over the sound hole when you want to be loud, you play back here when you want to have more of a flat surface, and you play here when you want to have more of a flat surface. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Once you get up, try going down. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do it a couple times with you. You could speed it up or slow it down up here in the corner using your playback speed. Either way, this is what it should be in for tempo for you. Here's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Remember to keep your fingers on the fretboard when going up till you 1. Then layer 2, layer 3. It's getting high. Layer 4, layer 5. In rhythm. 6, 7, 8. Remember, these are our quarter notes we were talking about. Now maybe 2 notes. Now maybe 1 note. And if you're advantageous, maybe something like this. That last one is a representation of what it should eventually get to, but even that do-do-do-do-do-do-do, it's awfully fast even for me. I would slow that down to maybe like a it's a little bit better pace. So that's lesson 1, all right? You're gonna be doing that to develop muscle memory, because when you move your fingers, on your actual tendons and the ligaments that are contained within your wrist here. It's connected to the top of your palm, and then it connects to the sides here. So every time you move your fingers at a different angle, which is new, you develop new muscles, because when you tear and rip a tendon, it builds back stronger, just like our muscles. So when we do that, we're actually building muscle memory. Subconsciously, we go to the chords, and consciously we think about them. So right now, when you think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 spider exercises, and I can end on the C, my exercise of 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. Now first finger, switch, is in the key of C. It's still in rhythm, and all I'm doing is changing my fingers out, so I'm playing the same chord with playing in a different pattern. Remember when I told you that a C could be played this way? It has all the same notes. It has the C, G, E, and then the octave. C, C. These are unison notes, remember? So if I played this A, it should be the same note as this, which it is. So with these notes, I'm going to be playing all these different chords. So that's the C major. How about the G major? G major, you go to the 2nd fret. You go to the D note, which is on the C string. So your thickest string, C, C sharp, D. You're going to play that D, and you're going to make a bookend with your other finger and play a B. So you have a D, a B, and then you're going to take your 3rd finger and play your G. So we've got this G, G, A, B, C, D, 1, 3, 5, G major. And what we're going to do is take our 1st finger off, put our 2nd finger where our 1st finger was, take our 3rd finger and put it where the 2nd finger was on the B, and then put our pinky on the fretboard. All right? And what we want to do is do our 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get a standard rhythm going on, we're going to want to switch in between this G fingering and the first one. And what we want to do is we want to pick a pace on our right hand, which allows us to go between the two. So if you need to, start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, whole note, 2, 3, 4. Just like in practice, we move back and forth between the chords. So you could hold this all the way and then wait till the last second to change, or right after you attack, switch it and be ready for the next chord. This will inevitably help when you're doing half notes, which is half of the amount of speed that we just did, because you're accenting it every 2 instead of every 4. I'm sorry, 2 except every 1. And then quarter notes is going to be every. See how I'm switching back between the two? We're going to want to be using our fingernails too, not the fleshy part of our skin and not our thumb. When we do use our thumb, we're going to be doing it on upstrokes to let our nail make the break picking. Cool? So that's our G major in 2 different forms. We also learned the F major. F major is on the 1st fret. We go to the F note, which is on the E string. So 1st fret on the E string, E, G, C, E, A, E, F. And we hold that in, and then we naturally put our 2nd finger down on the 2nd fret on the A note. And once we have that with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, we switch. We move our 1st finger off, put our 2nd finger where our 1st finger was, and bring our 3rd finger on the fretboard. All right? Then we get really comfortable with switching between the two. Doesn't matter really what you do, just as long as you can switch between the two flawlessly. Building muscle memory. So that is our C, our G, our F. Here comes another chord, and it's a chord from our song, Bamboo. This one is going to be playing the 2nd fret, the B note, our 3rd fret, our G note, and then the 4th fret, our E note, to give us a B, G, E, which is how we spell a E minor. This E minor could be played with our first finger, second finger, and third finger, and then we can switch to our second finger, third finger, and now bring our pinky on. Same thing as before, like our G, playing in a different, we're going to play our E minor in different fingerings. That's going to give us a little bit more versatility, and it's going to build muscle memory, as we said, and rhythm on the right hand while practicing these. So that's our E minor. And then lastly, we've got a D major chord. The D major chord can be played two different ways. The way that is the hardest way to play, which is inevitably going to have to be learned, has a simple and interesting caveat. You need to press down all of the notes on the second fret except for this A string. So the highest note, the G, high G, has the second fret, so you've got G, G sharp, A. And then the second string is the C, so you've got C, C sharp, D. And then the third string is the E, so you've got E, F, F sharp. So when you lay down all three of these and you leave this top A open, you see? You're playing a note, a D note, and an F sharp. Well, if you count your triads, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so we've got D, E, F, G, A. If you take away the second and fourth degree, you've got the 1, 3, 5, which is D, F sharp, and A. 1, 3, 5. So, you're going to lay that down, and the best way I can do this is just show you this way. When I lay down my fingers here, this top A, I'm slightly bending this note, not all the way down, or else that would be a B minor 7. But when I lift that up and I incorporate my D major, the A note, the D note, the F sharp with the A, it makes an A major. So you're going to play this D in rhythm and then switch to your third finger and try and do the same thing with that gap to make sure that that A note is ringing out clear. So no matter what finger you do with, you're going to want this note to ring clear. And the reason why is when you move these chords up and go sharp and have a D, D sharp, you can't play D sharp and have the open A anymore. You have to move that one up a half step too, a semitone, a diatone, and change that D major to a D sharp major. And the D sharp has a B flat in it rather than a B because its triad moved up. So the D major goes to an E major. Another hard one to learn is the E major, but once you got the D major, you can play the D major and the F major and F sharp and G, so on and so forth. So practice the D and switch from D to different ones. Make sure that A is ringing out clear. It's hard to do the pinky, don't worry about that one. If you want to, it will help muscle memory, but you're probably never gonna play a D like this because the best way to do is to play the D with your second or your third finger, even the first finger if you want, but that limits you from being able to play anything on the first fret. So if you played a D and wanted to, you wouldn't be able to do that if you were playing with your first finger. Does that make sense? So long story short, try these in different fingers. This comes to the bamboo part section of this song. I'm going to play a quick snippet of the song on the iPad right here next to it so you can hear it. It's in the key of D. Still has the same movements, they just changed. Here's
Thought love was easy and I kept believing in that old fantasy, that fairy tale dream. Real life has shown us it's a roller coaster, and oh, we had to learn where to take our turn. Oh love, it's true, the storms will come but we'll make it through.
So that feeling we have is so notice how when I played my D, I barred the whole second fret, and then I put this note on my A string at the 5th fret. That's another D. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 1, 1. They're octaves from each other. They're 7 notes away. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. 1, 1. So I could lay down my D of having these 3 notes, and then rather than having this A note being played open, I could actually play the D note up here to give me a D major just as a high D on the top rather than exhibiting its A. All right? So You could try that as well, being able to go, playing the whole second fret and then putting your finger down for the D. So here we go. Here's bamboo just in the rhythm. We're gonna have G, G, to an E minor, to a C major. Right here is gonna be the harder weird one for the D. I'm gonna play this a couple times over and over again, but you could loop this if you would. And then I will send it an additional video, which is just having this on loop for you to keep going with, all right? I'm going to play this maybe 4 or 5 measures and then say bye-bye. It was very nice meeting you, and we'll see you next week.